morning, everybody, and welcome back to On Tuesday um, from Boxes to Butterflies. Last week I was on Wednesday. It was just one of those days. So we are back on Tuesday morning, normal time, and this is going to be today's show is kind of like a continuation of what feels like a bunch of different shows over the past couple of weeks, because we're talking belonging, we'll talk fitting in, we'll talk anthologies, and a whole lot more, most likely, because with my guest, we can talk about a whole lot of different things. Um, but to start with, I want to do a call out to lift up others around you. We all know somebody who's gone through something, and while we may have been there at the start of it, sometimes we kind of fall away and maybe forget about them because over time they look like they're doing fine. That doesn't mean they're doing fine. So please think about those around you who have gone through something, check in on them. Also, just because somebody looks like they're in really good shape, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't check in, because so many of us are so good at wearing a mask, so good at hiding how we're really doing until it's too late. So check in on those around you, make sure everybody's doing okay. When it comes to my amazing sponsors, well, I just have to start with my dear sis at Level Up Academy. I mean, level up, think about it. You're leveling up from where you are to the next level, and it allows you to just keep growing. And that's what she does. Her focus, her goal, her vision is to be the Netflix of education, but she does so much more than that. She is queen of press releases, media relations. And look at all these industries she's got connections to. Look at all these places that she has connections to put press releases, articles, whatever. And this doesn't even count the premium magazines that she has access to. So if you have something that you've been preparing, you've got something you're ready to launch, your business has something amazing, it's getting ready to start, touch base with Constance, see what she has going on, tell her what you're looking at, where you are, and see if it's a fit and that this is the right time for a press release, for an article, for a premium article. I mean, when it comes to CJ, she's not just a publicity queen, media queen. She's a coupon queen. So she knows how to find good deals on the premium magazines. So reach out, see what's there. And like I said, she does so much. Here's more. Rebel with a Cause. We had 20 amazing authors in Rebel with a Cause. We have books all over the place. And this was our third anthology this year between the two of us that we did together and we published. This one is published under Level Up Academy, and all the proceeds for this one are going to mental health organizations, because we lost one of our dear authors actually before it started. So the book is dedicated to her, our dear sister Jess, and of everything that we have in here, we got a bunch of people to help write a chapter, as it were, with their fond memories of Jess. So come join, get the book, get your copy. It's It's an amazing book with stories of rebels who they had a cause, they ran with it. It was amazing. Another sponsor, the Hounds of Business. What can I say? Mike Ashebrainer, the Hounds of Business. Here's a community that focuses on collaboration over competition. Dr. Constance Leyland says it all the time. The Hounds of Business puts it into play. So when you're looking to be someplace where it's a good group of people and you're looking for collaboration, you could be working with somebody who does the same thing as you. You could be working with somebody who is in a different field, but you guys just have something between you that is perfect collaboration. So check them out. With any questions, contact Mike Ashebrainer. He's the leader of the pack for the Hounds of Business. And then in a couple of weeks, there's a live event in San Diego. So if you're in San Diego, if you're going to San Diego in a couple of weeks, I believe it's the 19th of October, then please check this out. There's discounts. You can contact CJ. You can contact me. This amazing event live in person, not online. It's put on by our dear sister Sandra Gonzalez, who happens to be a retired Marine officer. And on stage with her is going to be Dr. Lucas Dyer, another Marine veteran, and our dear sister, Dr. Constance Leyland. So think about what you can learn from these three on a live stage and then be able to talk with them after the event. What more could you ask for? It's going to be a blast. And then this will come up a few times, I suspect, today, because my dear sister is here today. And this is our 4th anthology this year. Author's Call for Against the Grain, Finding Belonging in a World of Resistance. It's been the topic for a lot that we've talked about because it is such an important, it's an important piece. Authenticity, belonging versus fitting in, moving beyond boxes, all of that. So here's an opportunity to join us in another anthology. Scan the QR code and you bring your story of what does it mean to belong? What does it mean to move beyond the boxes that you were stuck in where you didn't fit in to get to a place where you were safe. You could drop your mask. You belonged. People looked at you as your authentic self instead of judging you. So please check it out. And remember, the opportunity is going to close in about 3 weeks. It's not that long now. So jump in now, check it out. If you are a member of the Hounds of Business, we have a discount, so you can contact me. And our authors, those who have written with us in the past, they get an even bigger discount. And no, if you're both a Hounds member and have written with us, you do not get to combine them. Sorry, Mike. So with that, I think it's time to bring up my dear sister, who looks so studious.
I know. I look like a librarian today. Hello, everybody. How can I help you find your genre of books to read?
I love it.
Oh. What is it? Austin Powers? Isn't there like a movie? Like I feel like that's what's happening. I don't know what's happening right now.
Well,
I
it's
had
funny.
issues with my eyeballs. I can't find my pink glasses that I usually have, so I'm going for this glasses. I have several glasses, but this is my I'm a librarian look.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. This is going to be it, and we've been talking about so many things. Uh, Actually, I got to sit here. It's like, okay, which of all of these topics do we want to jump on to start with?
Um, I actually was looking and I took a research on belonging because we talked about belonging for so long and now it's like embedded in my brain, right? And I also had experienced a talk on somebody about her journey on finding belonging, and it's heartbreaking for her
Mhm.
um, because she thought that she had a friend who pushes her to be part of this other community, and this other community is breaking her apart, and it's breaking my heart, right?
Yeah,
So, knowing that I am an educator, I said there's got to be a Harvard research. Harvard is my shtick always. They're the only university that has so much clout and so much respect from people around the world, yet they're the only university who isn't actually credentialed per se, right? Like they're not accredited. Did you know that Harvard is not accredited? They do not need accreditation. They basically are moving beyond that box since whatever they started, right? So that they're my stick for excellent research. I use their curriculum to teach my students independently as well because I like project based classroom where you actually do things, not talk things. I can talk all day long, but how do you do it is a different way because when you're starting to do things, you can find out things about yourself and about others that sometimes it might not be ideal, but you have to move forward to level up, right? So I'm going to
right.
read you the study from Harvard. This one is the Harvard study of adult development. It's one of the longest running studies actually on human happiness and health, right? It highlights the good relationships that are the strongest predictors of long-term health and well-being. And we talked about this too. Loneliness, okay, on the other hand, is linked to poor health outcomes, including early death and cognitive decline. Strong social connections, whether with family, friends, or community, were found to protect both physical and mental health. Now, the polls, it's called Pulse Survey on Inclusion and Belonging. This is conducted by Harvard, actually, underscores the critical role of belonging in academic and professional settings. I have to do this because I'm an academician. So, this survey aims to understand and improve the climate of inclusion and belonging within the university, right? Tracking community well being over time. So, both of these studies really emphasize the importance of fostering belonging as a vital part of personal health and societal well being. So, it's just that the research literally highlights the profound impact in relationships and well-being and belonging. These are very strong social connections. They're good for your mental and physical health, right? Because think about it, when you're happy you do more things. When
Yep.
your manager drags you down and tells you like you're this, you're like, ugh, I don't want to do anything. Oh my god, you did such an amazing job on this thing, you're like, ooh, okay, let me do it. It's a human brain. Our human brain are attracted to negativity. So when we have positivity, you don't know what to do with yourself. You're like, okay, I can do this, right? It's that subconscious that you're feeding in every day. Whatever you bring into yourself, your subconscious is eating it up. So are you feeding it negativity or are you feeding it positivity? Remember, guys, the power of choice. When you want to belong somewhere, power of choice. If you feel in your gut that this is negative for you, don't stay in there. Don't be a people pleaser, right? It
No.
doesn't get you nowhere. Just move on and then return to sender. Oh my gosh, you missed it on TikTok last night. I was selling my HR Booster Pro Medicube skincare and I was singing. Ooh, and they're like, CJ, you can sing. I'm like, no, I can't, but I'm singing anyway. That's all I'm saying. I'm Filipino. I just sing.
Yes, you can. I see you singing on there all the time.
Oh my god. I'm like, oh, oh, oh. ooh, right? Because music to me is so amazing. Like it
Mhm.
gives me the groove, it gives me the sadness. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm Filipino, I'm overly dramatic. Like I should make TikTok like that. Oh my gosh,
Exactly.
Michelle is here. Lewis is here. Woo woo. We
I
missed you, sister.
know.
We missed you.
And MD Razzle, and so we got a great group already. And I love that study because we need more studies on belonging. I feel like there's a lot of people who they just don't they don't get it, whether it's individuals or whether it's organizations, to understand that when you have a space where people feel like they belong, where they feel safe enough to drop the mask, then they feel safe enough to engage more, which picks up the mental health, which creates more opportunities for the business because people are willing to give their great ideas instead of maybe being worried that to say this idea that they have on their head is going to create a crack in their mask and somebody will see what they're hiding. And the thing is, when you belong, that doesn't mean that you're going to just spew out all the stuff that was behind the mask. Because most of us, we don't want to talk about it. We just don't want to be judged for it. We don't want to be looked down upon because of it. We don't want to be treated differently because we all have different experiences. And why would we want to engage with somebody who's just going to give us negativity? We've got enough we're dealing with already when we put those masks on. So,
Well, I think that question, sometimes we need a rhetorical question to ask ourselves that because we ask others. But it's one of the situations where I was just talking to April this morning. I'm productive. I talked to April today for about breath work. I talked to Danielle today, right? Like before we start, and now I'm talking over here. It's really an amazing feeling when I have to get to know me and look at my weaknesses and leverage my strengths and an opportunity for growth because I do have a threat. My threat is I'm a people pleaser. I am an empath, so I feel pain on others. I don't seek validation when I used to, and the reason for that's because of my past trauma. um, but it's not an excuse, right? We all need validation once here and there, and I want you guys to um, put this in your toolbox. When you see a friend doing such a good job, don't keep it to yourself. Tell them how amazing you are, how amazing your relationships are, how amazing they are to be friends with each other, and how you have a lot more similarities and commonalities and differences. I am pivoting and changing, and it feels good. I've been in a little bit on the negative feeling lately because I
right.
feel the shifting, but it has nothing to do with anything, right? It's more of like I'm so disappointed on certain people's behavior, but then I have to look at myself and CJ, what are you doing in that behavior? And I'm not really a part of it. I'm distancing myself because I see the actions, not the words. The words are fine. It's the actions that I'm seeing is less than optimal for me and my vision. So yes, I'm a little on the CJ for me because if I cannot pour in my cup, I cannot pour in your cup, right?
Mhm.
Or anybody's cup for that matter. But I'm so proud of myself that I want to learn about breath work. Um, I'm hoping and inviting you guys. I have so many events to go to right now. Like Noni is on the 9th for the music festival in San Francisco. Like I want to go, but that's Bella's birthday, so I can't go. Then my daughter's coming in this weekend, my oldest. Hello, Angelina. Her name's Angelina too. Angelina Marie. She hates it when I tell her that. She's coming this weekend, so I'm gonna see her and spend time with her. We're going to Montepalooza, and then next weekend I'm going with Sandra, and the weekend after that I'm going with Agape. And by the way, I'm a board member for domestic violence here for her nonprofit. I'm a board member, so you're gonna hear a lot of domestic violence conversation and then
Yeah.
negativity, but also the positivity about it and what we can do as a community. Because I am for leveling up that space. We need it, right? And educate people on how to get out of it, not talk about the problem. Each problem have similarities, but belonging is important. Where you belong is important for your brain. And now I think I got rid of all my negativity, so I'm ready.
Like, we don't need that negativity. We need,
Oh, we have
we need
April for that breath
positivity.
work.
Exactly. Uh, I need to get more with April, who, I mean, I think she heard you, because then you said
Wait,
her
is he
name
here? I
and
haven't
she
seen it
picked up.
yet. Hold on.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
see,
he's here. Yay. Hello,
this popped
sister.
up right after you said, and then she's like, love the conversation. So
Yeah,
it's, but we have so many positive people right now in our circle
I know.
that
It's exciting.
it's really exciting. And I love that, because I got to have my first conversation with Agape yesterday, and I didn't expect it to go quite as long as it did, but it was needed. It was the right thing. So yeah, see, April is here.
Yeah, and she, she's a busy woman and I can't wait. Like we need to save up money for the February sister. Um
Mhm.
I think you need it, Danielle needs it, and I need it. So we're gonna meet up with April here and she's gonna do breath work, she's gonna do intuitive healing, she's gonna do a lot of things. And it's going to be exciting for us to do this. And I love the in-person activity that we've done now, like on some things. Like I met Agape in first person. Like
Yep.
all of these things that we're doing is part of belonging. We belong to the Hands of Community and Level Up community, so we want to see who we belong in a community, who these people are. And it's okay. Our community doesn't mean everyone is perfect. You're going to
No,
figure out that everyone has a mask on when you're in the community. And then when you collaborate on projects and you do more talking and you do more listening and watching,
I'm in.
this is what you do. You shift if you are not aligned with that person. And don't take it personally. It just means we're not aligned anymore. That's it. Poof. Oh, I feel like singing. What is that song, sister? Puff the magic dragon.
Or
Will
go back to
guide us
Thomas.
free.
Is that going to be your next Sunday morning startup song?
Oh my God. I have so much startup song. Last night on TikTok, I was singing my hearts out because um, it was like a lot of like the love songs. I love love songs. Filipinos love dramatic songs.
Uh-huh.
Um, if you need me now.
Yep.
A part of me.
I'm a Captain
Ooh.
and
Yeah,
Tennille fan, so
I was singing that. I was grooving. I was like, "Oh, Olivia Newton-John, let's
and
go!" Like,
Iman's here.
"Oh, hello, Eamon. How are
Iman?
you?" It's important to remember belonging doesn't always mean complete alignment. It means acceptance and understanding with non-judgmental biases. Yeah. So here's the thing with I'm gonna level that up. True, but I will no longer accept anybody who's less than 100 for me. Sorry, that's my new rule now. I learned it from Tyrell. So if you have problems with that, you go knock on his door. he's my he's my listen, I want to level up, like, okay? So I learn from everybody and he is right. It's a choice. It's my choice, to be honest with you. I'm going to take accountability. He's right. Why am I in the same room with you, talking about you, elevating you, leveling you up in my room when you're not around, but you're not 100 with me?
Right.
Hell no. Bye.
And we've had a lot of those throughout the past,
Mhm.
just the past year and a half. It's like they care for us when we're to their advantage, and then they disappear. And it makes it hard to I think in some ways we kind of realize we can't give them the same we tend to pull back from them even a while ago because we know we're not getting the same from them, and so it just is kind of some of it is natural, but now it's becoming more intentional.
Yeah, and I think I needed Tyrell to tell me that. Um, he didn't even tell me that. He just comes into my audio room and said, "If you're not 100 with me, why am I 100 with you?" And I have to really think about that, and said, it's my people pleaser character because I don't want to rock the boat, or I don't want to, have frenemies. Or, but see, the thing is, to be honest, there already are frenemies because they're not 100 for you, right? So I'm making excuses for other people's behavior because why? Because why? Because I'm a people pleaser and I also want to belong. But you don't belong on places that you're not elevated. I'm sorry, you just don't, right? So belonging is very important. If you're not in alignment with me 100%, I don't want to be in your community. I don't want to belong in that circle. So Michelle, unfortunately, alignment for me is you're 100 for me. If you're not 100 for me, I'm sorry, we're not aligned. That's where I'm taking it because my energy is very high level, like really high. I'm always for human being. I'm always a caring person. But if you cross me, the dots, the closure, it's done. Once I leave that friendship, I don't go back. Sorry.
Well, and we kind of talked about it Sunday a little bit too, because we talked about leveling up the circle to focus on business as well. I mean,
Right
that's
here.
why we're here.
I want to
Yes.
be surrounded with people speaking positively in my absence as I do them. Exactly. So if you're not 100 for me, you're 80-20, you're 70-30, you're just 60-40, then you're not for me, period. Right? So I just, bye. Tyrell, it's your fault. Eamon, tell him that.
You know she will.
I know. She's like, "Oh my god, CJ just blamed you for 100%." Oh my gosh,
Well,
dude.
I'll have a chat with him tomorrow too. So
Oh, good, 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 good.
no, Thursday. There's tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday. Get my days straight. This week is already wacky because I talk with somebody tomorrow on equity and belonging.
Yeah, you do.
So that's going to be and it's going to be interesting to see what the equity part is because I hear so many different people talk equity in many different terms. And so I feel like you just have to find a term that's going to actually work that fits for you that you're comfortable with. In fact, not even really fit because I talk about fitting in and that's not if we're fitting in, we're not going to be comfortable. You got to be comfortable. You don't want to get into a box and say, "Okay, I'm here. Now what?" You want to be able to take charge. You want to step up and help others. Yeah, we're all about breaking those boxes. So uh, I'm surprised that hat hasn't drawn Mike out here yet. But when we talk, we've talked so much around belonging. What is it? What do you see belonging as for moving to the next level?
I think there's a lot of work on belonging because it's the journey that counts, right? Just like I know you might hate me for saying Miley Cyrus, but literally her song about the climb, it's not about, it's the climb, it's getting up. It's because when she said the climb, the first thing that cuts in my head is level up, right? Um, it could be the highest mountain, but once you get there, now what, right? Think about your first time you wanted to work. I want to work, I want to earn money. And then you got the job, you're like, oh, this is how work is. I don't know about this, right? But getting there was like so excited. When you get a new car, oh my God, that's leather smell. It's, it has less than whatever miles. And oh, I love it. And then it dissipates. Oh, I want that new purse because it's really cool. And I get it. And you're like, okay, it's sitting in the closet. Like, think about all of these things, right? Oh, I want a
Yep.
master's, or I want an MIS, or I want a DBA, and I got it. Now what? What are you going to do about it, right? It's the same thing with belonging. I think you need to belong to yourself first before you want to belong in communities. When you have your own personal standards and your core values and your moral compass, I'm not saying you have to have the same as mine. You have to have your own. But if you know what your own moral compass is and your ethical of excellence standards and what you allow and don't allow in your self, when you're so strong about yourself and you're so resolute on who you are and what you want to be when you grow up, nothing and no one can stop you from being in any communities. I belong to so many communities. Some community that I belong to is for professional. I don't relate to some of these things because they have so much mass. It's not even funny. I belong in an academic community where people think that their shit don't stinks. And I put them on their place because I can want to wake them up and said, no, that's not how it works with humanity, people. Just because you get this degree doesn't mean it makes you this. Then I have people who don't actually earn their degree, but they're getting some title. And I'm like, that's also not how it works, folks. Like,
No.
let's align those things. And at the end of the core, forget all the materials, the degrees, the money, the title. Who are you as a human being? If
Yep.
you're on the street right now walking, and you see somebody, some old person falling down, are you going to laugh or are you going to go and park your car and lift them up? I want to be surrounded with those people who have kind hearts, who's very aware. It's not enough that you have a kind heart because I believe everybody has kind heart. Everybody are heart-centered, but not everybody are soul-hearted.
No.
That means your passion and your kind heart, boom, explodes. What you're saying and what you're doing, boom, align, right? And in order for you to do that, you got to shed some negativity. The people who are still pleasing people, or I'm going to give you an example, friend A and friend B and friend C. Friend A knows about this group that's really amazing, but doesn't align with the person that for whatever reason told friend B to go to friend C to do something. Then friend A and B went to C. They know that now they found out that C is toxic as F, right? Friend A who introduced friend B left friend B there knowing it's toxic. What kind of friend are you? But I'm seeing this and I'm allowing it to bother me. I said, you know what, CJ? Return to sender, like you said.
Yep.
Bye. So I unfollow and unfriend because of that action. Because
Exactly.
willing to do that to your friend, that means you're willing to do that to your frenemies too. And I know I'm on your frenemy list. Peace. Right?
There's a number of them out there, and
Yep.
we don't need that because the thing is they've been masking until that point when their authentic self comes out. That's when you see who they really are. And quite frankly, we need to, you talked about belong to yourself first. I take that as being your authentic self, who you are at your core, and letting that, because that's half, most of the time when we walk out the door, we put a mask on because we are hiding who we are at our core, or we're hiding something that is either going on right now that may be a tough time, but we don't feel like we can share it with others without being viewed in a negative manner, even though it's something that a lot of people are going through. It can be marital, it can be addiction, it can be so many different things. We need to be able to be our authentic self. That is who we are at the core. That's and that authentic self is who we were created to be. Now, some of this other stuff, it's probably stuff that happened because we were trying to do too much masking in the first place. That would almost be an interesting study all by itself. How often do we create some of these issues that we've gone through because we were hiding ourselves, trying to fit into a place that we don't belong? It just wasn't working for us. So you have to do something to you have to do something to just get by. And unfortunately, for many, that can be turning to something that becomes an addiction. It can be something in the family place that just makes makes friction within the family because suddenly you're confused. Your authentic self is not good at hiding itself. It doesn't want to hide, so it has to go somewhere else. It has to do something. All right, I'm gonna jump down to here. It's like, yes,
What? Here, I
he's
just texted him.
muted.
I
Yeah, it's
texted him, and I'm like, look what I got. Look what I got. Nah, 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 nah,
maybe
nah.
we were talking about him earlier, but hey, he missed it, so he'll have to go back and catch it on replay.
I know. No, I was like, bro, what the heck? Where are you? Because it was busy, so I give him shit for it. But here's the thing that I want you guys to think about if you're thinking of writing with us for this upcoming anthology.
Yep.
And again, this is a movement. This is not a one-time deal. You got to, just like Rebel with a Cause, you have to rebel a status quo, right? With this, I want you guys to explore this couple of things in terms of finding belonging in a world of resistance, right? The power of authenticity. Susanna keeps talking about that. Embracing self identity in the face of social exclusion. That's a good title. It's like,
It's a
right?
good thing it's recorded at the
Right.
36.5 minute mark.
That's true. Here's the thing, resistance from social norms. What is a social norm? Discuss how societal norms or expectations can create that resistance for those who deviate from conventional paths like cultural identity, gender identity, non traditional careers, right? Being an entrepreneur might not be something that your parents told you. You have to go on a wheel of a cog, 8 to 5, 8 to 5, 8 to 5. You're like, no, I want to be an entrepreneur instead of a doctor, right? So that is resistance from social norms, right? Meaningful relationships, even in the face of adversity. And Susanna and I are always in that same category. And that's why communication is really a big thing because belonging through vulnerability. When someone tells you and they're vulnerable and they're telling you their truths, you need to explore the role of vulnerability in creating deep connections, right? You share your innermost core with me, and I take it to heart to keep it. And it's mine to keep, not mine to share. Keep that in mind. When people are sharing something to you, sometimes we tend to tell other people it's not for you to share, it's for you to keep, right? So in Harvard, really, that study of adult and development, the study shows that individuals who embrace their imperfections and share their true selves with others often find lasting connection despite that initial resistance. But here's what I want you to get challenged. There are information that are too much.
Yep.
Slowly get there so people can understand where you are, right? It's like writing a paper, guys, writing a paper. There's an intro. You got to get me excited to write 60 pages of your dang paper for me to grade. Get me excited. Give me that drama. Like, oh, somebody died and it was such a violent death and they got eaten by the zombie. And then before that happens, they were just a farmer. Do you want to know how it started? And you're like, oh, zombie farmers? Yes, yes, I want to get excited. And so then that's your intro, your dramatic entrance, right? And then guess what? That body is now telling them the backstory of this person who is a farmer. Now they're like a bad, out of what. And now they're like, wow, this is such like that hero's journey. It's the same thing for your friendship. Don't give me the body without the introductions. And don't give me the introductions like a pitch lab. Because that's definitely resistance. Okay. And then your conclusion is always that journey together. You can conclude at any time. It's a choice, right? But we put so much emphasis on, I don't want to hurt their feelings, but they keep hurting yours. Is that okay? No, it ain't, right? So navigating that systems of inclusion address how people can find belonging in space where systemic barriers like racial, gender, economic inclusion persist. So this can include like looking at the grassroots movements like Miguel does, or personal stories of individuals who overcame social resistance. We all do at the Rebel with a Cause, right? But we overcame those resistance by building our own communities of belonging. That's what I said. If you want to belong and they resist you, F them. Create your own dang community if you want to, just like Mike did, right? We're seeing this really every day. So if you want to write for against the grain, there's so many topics you can write.
Oh,
Keep in mind,
yes.
it is your choice. Susanna and I will never pressure you. You have to write this, you have to write that. No, what we do when we edit is to put you in a place where you can use your chapter as a business marketing tool. That's what we always do. And people copy us, but there's, only originals. I'm just saying. Sister, what say you?
I say, first off, you're gonna have to go back and see Mikey's comments, because he's basically telling me, don't show him, she's busy on a roll, she's doing whatever. And he's still pushing me to say certain things. I mean, he just doesn't get it. I show it, but the more he pushes, um, I'm stubborn like many. So, but yes, we have these communities. We have to resist. The way I see it is, we have a world that resists us when we're being our authentic self, because that's normally what happens. The world wants to put us in a box, that wants to define us per that box. And by doing so, we try to conform. And I know what that's like. I spent 50 years trying to conform when I couldn't. All it did was tear me down. All it did was create negative experiences through my life. It wasn't until resisting the world that I was able to be myself, walk out the door without the mask on, and then let myself grow finally in the ways that I should have been able to grow decades ago. And we have so many, and
Well, you didn't have CJ decades ago. Hello? Like
I
what?
didn't have CJ decades ago, but we also know we had to meet when we did. We couldn't have met decades ago. Like, yeah, keep trying, Mike. I've given up on peer pressure.
Yeah.
But we had to meet when we did, because we are both adamant when it comes to the butterfly effect, as written by Ray Bradbury in the time travel short story of A Sound of Thunder. Because to change anything in the past is to change who you are now, no matter how small. When you're happy where you are, when you can look in the mirror and say, I love who I am, I love the people around me, I love what I've got, why would you ever want to risk all of that for a small change that could even be picking up a penny that you walked past in the past? It's like, you don't know what's going to make that catastrophic change between then and now, and who you turn into once you do make a change. You may not like that person at all. So thinking about it all, it's like, when it comes to writing in this book, belonging, being who you were supposed to be, who you were created to be. And that's the way I'll put it. It's always when you can drop the mask, when you can be vulnerable because you're in that space that you belong, then that's where you're going to move beyond boxes. That's where you're going to level up, because you can let go of the expectations and the requirements and the boxes of the world, and be who you were created to be in the first place, because a mask covers who you were created to be. and the
Yeah.
mask doesn't.
Well, if you're gonna have a mask, you might as well have a Medicube collagen mask. You can glow. I'm just saying, okay? Like
I
this
still
mask right here.
need that one.
Yeah. Um, I peeled my face. Like literally, Susanna saw me do my makeup 10 minutes before the show, guys. Okay. It's just, it is what it is. And I can't see crap today. My eyes are like fudging. I think we have a theme song from the Carpenters, Rainy Days and Mondays. Like, um, the lyrics literally go talking to myself and feeling old. Sometimes I'd like to quit. Nothing ever seems to fit. Hanging around, nothing to do but frown. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down, right? So if you think about it, yeah, it's a reflection of what she's doing, but what is she doing with it? What I've got, they used to call the blues, nothing is really wrong, feeling like I don't belong. Think about that. Walking around, like walking around, some kind of lonely clown. Oh, I hate clowns. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Mike, I literally am pressuring her to sing. She doesn't sing either. Okay, I've been working on that.
You've been working, you know,
Oh my
we
god.
already know if anybody's going to get me to do something, it's going to be you.
Yeah, I know.
'Cause
I don't wear
look
wigs.
at
No,
how much.
no.
Well, yeah, and that trip to Podfest,
Oh
how
yeah.
many firsts were on that? So yeah, it's
One of our theme song too, sister, is literally Michael Jackson's "Heal the World." I love that song. I so love that song, right? Because thinking about generations, and they say we want to make it a better place for our children, but our children, so that they don't know it's a better world for them, and think if they can make it a better place, right? Like think about it. There's a place in all of our hearts, really, like Michael Jackson says, that you know that it's love. And our sister Danielle always, her thought is always love and empathy, and she's consistent with that, right?
yep,
I told her to take a nap. That's why she's not here, because she's been traveling representing us, because we have projects that are in the works. And if it's going to go through, we're going to help so many kids, it's not funny. And so we're working on that, that we don't ever discuss, but that's something that we work on the side. That's why we can't have any more nonsense, right? It
no.
says, like, if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you'll feel there's no hurt or sorrow. Wait, how do you sing that part? There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place could be much brighter than tomorrow. Sister, your turn. And if you
I
try,
don't have
you'll
the
find there's
words.
no need to cry. I love the chorus. Think about the chorus, guys. It says, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. Nothing. See,
You
Mike,
really think I'm going to pick it up when I don't even know what the lyrics are, and I
uh,
haven't even heard that song in a long time.
oh my gosh, but I love that song, right? Like that's just, see, this is our conversation. This is nothing new. Like when Susanna or Danielle and I like in the song, and then we're like, we need to like let it go. And then I start singing, let it
And you
go,
start going, and
let it
Danielle
go.
starts going, and I
Yeah,
just listen to the two of you.
yeah. Can't hold it back anymore. Let
See,
it go.
see, one of the other songs that I love, which it's like I'd never heard of Ava Max until like what, the last 6 months or something.
Yeah.
And the one that I love by her is Choose Your Fighter. And it's because one of the lyrics is, if you want to break out of the box, we want to call all the shots. If you want to be sweet or soft, then go off. Um, and it's like, yeah, move beyond the box.
How does that song go? I don't know how that song go.
um,
Oh my God, you just say it's Mojo. Hold on. Mike,
oh, he would be a Mojo Jojo.
you see that? Mojo. My camera's like, woo woo.
Yeah,
But I
but
have Mojo.
dear, he's going with Mojo because you've got Blossom and I've got bubbles.
Oh. Wait, how does the Ava Max choose your fighter? Is it you can be? How does that go?
You can be a lover, a fighter, whatever you desire. Life is like
Yeah,
a
but like the
runway.
song, the
You're
beat.
the designer. Yeah, I know. You want the beat, and
Lord Almighty Jesus. Well,
it's
see, this is what
nice.
happens with ADHD people. We go from belonging to
Well, but choose your fighter. It's still talking about move beyond boxes. I mean that was the line that when I first heard it, it drew me to that song. It's like, wait a minute, that's got to be my song. It's beyond the box. We don't need to be in a box, and we shouldn't be in a box. Yeah, and there, Mike is gone off on the Mojo Jojo. I was like, so does that mean he becomes Mikey Jojo?
Wait, I just heard it. You can be a lover or a fighter, whatever you desire. I say, I'm gonna practice that.
You
I
practice
love
it
songs.
because you got to drop a little bit in a couple of spots there.
I know. I was like, ooh,
I
I gotta get. I'm practicing. I'm listening right now.
Oh dear, I can sing that one when nobody's watching.
Go sing.
But this is going to YouTube. Can we even play it? YouTube may not want us to play the music. It's
Oh, I can't for sure on mine because I get copyright stuff, right? Because I'm over
right.
that. How, but I love the beat on this one. Like I know
Oh,
this role can be a little confusing. It is, not a little.
yes.
It is a lot confusing because like you grew up this way, and then the people tell you this way, and then your friends are this way. And you're like, how do I do this life? Like this is too much, right? And that's when you get to go back to your own self and know what you are all about and what you stand for, because once you have that standards, you're going to attract people with the same standards. That's literally what it is. So if you're seeing yourself right now and your life right now is falling apart, look who's actually surrounding you. If their life is also falling apart, you're attracting each other,
Right.
right? If you're letting go with friends and leveling up, most of the time your friends are also leveling up with you, and they're going to also let go with that friends, because you want to keep surrounding yourself with positive people. And the reason for that's because if you are positive and everything is negative, think about like the what is that called in the ocean? Oh my gosh, it's like when you get sucked in that circle, like, oh, don't go there because
Whirlpool?
it has, yeah. So it's basically like that. If the whole hole right there is that it sucks you in, that's the power of negativity. And we're already kind of built to look for, like, honestly guys, in business, people are always looking for reasons not to like you. They're always looking for reasons not to like you. You have to make it into a habit of, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay if people don't like you, so long as you like yourself. Because when you don't like yourself and you said negative things about yourself and you believe it because it's in your subconscious, you're going to keep attracting people who also don't like themselves, and now turning into you, so you can get sucked into that negativity. And it's really going against that like ocean of like negativity. So it's, there's a blue ocean strategy, there's also a red ocean strategy, and I say go to the pink ocean strategy. Just saying.
Just just saying. I got the
Yeah,
pink, you got
just
the
saying.
pink.
Right, we're all, oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you, I have my Dove shirt. Oh, it's my Dove shirt.
But the other thing too is what I'm noticing, and as we're peeling away some of these layers that have been um, not 100%, even just within the last day, I can sit here and say I'm feeling a significant difference with letting, with your favorite song. You know where I'm going. Letting them go, because the minute you do let them go, it's almost like some sort of pressure's lifted off of you. Something is, it's no longer dragging you down. And for, I think you put it this way before. We've seen a lot of people where it's like they congregate together, and anytime we see them or we might pop into a room where they're at, it's like negativity, feeding off of negativity, and they're all in that space. They're all being that way, complaining about something. And when all you do is complain and you can't even come up with solutions that make sense, then how can it's not a space that's safe. It's not a space to
No.
be in.
And
And
you've
we
seen it too. Yeah, you've seen it too, sister. I'm
exactly.
so glad I let go. It's like having a, when you're looking for like that rose, the rose looks so beautiful. It smells so good. I love pink and red roses. And
Uh-huh.
when I smell it, but the problem is to smell that sucker, you have to hold the stem, right? To really smell. There's thorns, okay? And when you get pricked in that thorn, it hurts like right? So it's like friendship. It's like that, in order to see that beautiful level up yourself, you're blossoming, you're all that, you have thorns in your stem. You got to take those thorns, right? So you can be held completely safe from all these thorns in your life. Did I just see I'm a poet and didn't know it? I
I
love
swear
Frozen,
you
sis.
do
Sorry.
that at least once a show.
I know, huh?
You
Listen, it's
have
like,
that.
right, think about the lyrics. I love these lyrics because people are really going through things when they write this, right? Like a kingdom of isolation and it looks like I'm the queen. Think about that. A kingdom of isolation and it looks like I'm the queen. I love it. I have a poetry of belonging, so I'm gonna read it before we end today.
Uh-huh.
um it's called Belonging's Thread. In the quiet hum of crowded streets, I search for a face, a place, a beat. Where do I fit in this shifting tide when every door feels locked outside? But here, in the breath between the noise, I find my home, my inner voice. Belonging blooms in the heart's own call, not in the mirror of a crowded hall. For where I stand, roots starts to grow in every step, in every no. Resistance might guard the gate ahead, but where I weave my belonging with a quiet thread. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna give him this one. There's Mikey's response.
Oh my gosh, bro. You're gonna get that one. Oh man. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Ooh, yeah. I love Shakespeare and dramatic stuff. Like I used to do Shakespearean thing in San Diego, and my dad would drive me and he snores. It's so embarrassing. I'm like, Dad, he's like, what's thou art Romeo? I don't understand this. I'm like, oh Julia.
I did that
No.
for a while because um, I would end up spending about a week in Ashland because they call it a Shakespeare festival, but it lasts the whole summer. They have probably at least a half a dozen to maybe even 10 plays during the summer, and it's a mixture. It's Shakespeare, it's contemporary, it's variety, it's Shakespeare with a twist, so a lot of different things. um, but I got to
Sorry.
the point where I did too much. Yep.
So my camera has gone bananas. He's
Here,
like, yeah, I
he just
agree.
loves
It might
following you.
yeah. So Shakespeare, On belonging, I was looking at it last night because I do sonnet. I love sonnet. I got A's on my sonnet. For somebody who doesn't speak English, I love Shakespeare. Okay. um the Tempest or Othello, right? So the Tempest is actually belonging is a central theme in the Tempest. I don't know if you know that. Like Prospero, who has been usurped, right, and exiled, right, but he must reconcile his sense of displacement. Think about that. And then in Othello, right, the themes of belonging are entangled with the issue of race and identity. I don't know if you know that, right? Othello, as a Moor, constantly feels he's outsider. And look at Romeo and Juliet. Look, they belong to two separate families, but they're in love with each other. And the only place that they could be together is literally dramatic, but to death, right? The 12th Night. Viola's journey of disguising herself as a Cesario and navigating a new world raised questions of identity and belonging, right? So all of these things from Shakespeare, we've had. I studied Shakespeare a lot. So I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, these stories are about belonging. If you think about it, they want to belong, right? So yeah.
I'm loving this, especially since, quite frankly, I share the birthday. And actually, well, let's see, they say he died on the 23rd of April, but there's many of them say he also was born on the 23rd of April. So it's like I share a birthday with the bard himself. So I think I need to do some more. I think we need to do a little bit more with this, to see how this goes, because it's a great way to find belonging in a bunch of different places.
Even here in California. Steven, is that your new book? Yeah. Look at this. I'm giving this book away.
I'm looking at the belonging, let it go information, but honestly, guys, you can always write about a lot of things.
Yes.
For us, we never pressure you to write with us because it has to be good energy.
Yep.
What I want you guys to think about, and I'm going to speak for myself, and I know that my sister here is in alignment, is that we're sucker for good stories. That's really who we are. And the money that you're actually spending is time spent that you would normally go in circles with. You could definitely go and write other people's anthology. We welcome that. Each person and each group offers different dynamics, different energy, different things like that. We can't talk about others because we don't know. Well, we do, but we're not going to talk about others. We are going to talk about us, and us is really all about creating that belonging, creating that amazing things that we can do for each other. And write about why belonging is important to you. That's really what you need to write about, right?
Exactly. And to remember too, because you brought up the cost. It's like if you're a Hounds member, you do get a discount, and all of our returning authors, when they come back for second, third, fourth, however many books, they get a bigger discount. And like I said at the very beginning, no, you can't be a repeat author and a Hounds member and think you can combine them. It doesn't work that way. It's like one or the other. Um, so we've had, one of the things that I love about our books is that variety. Those that have come back over time, and those who are new, and getting that mixed together, because it always generates even more ideas. And the way we go through this, when we sit down with everybody on a Zoom call, get to know each other, sometimes somebody doesn't know what they're going to talk about. They have some ideas. They say that to the group, and it's not you or I that gives them the idea that they're going to end up writing about. It's somebody else. It's one of the other authors who's like, well, I heard you say this, and I think this would be a great topic if you took that and kind of went with this on it. And suddenly it's like they're working together. They're lifting each other up, leveling each other up when it comes to the writing. And we see it constantly throughout the process. When we get a group that's dynamically connected and everybody is really there and participating, the energy And the ideas that get generated are freaking amazing.
Yeah, we want to go quality over quantity. We're changing things, we're leveling up our process because we're always pivoting and changing. Because there has to be standards, right?
Yep.
A lot of people who never thought they could be a writer, they already had that inkling to write. Sometimes, language barrier, financial barrier, time barrier, um, gets in the way of your dreams, right? But don't think about that as a barrier. Think about that as a tool to streamline your process. Here's the thing, when people miss appointments, I used to get upset, like, oh, they don't respect my time, right? But things happen, right? For a reason. I don't take it personally anymore. If you're in my calendar and you don't show up, you're going to have to wait 3 to 5 months to get back again on my calendar. So if you're going to complain, you got to look at it like, what did I do to do this? People get over dramatic, like, what did I do to deserve this? Don't just ask the question and don't dig deep inside. Anything that people say no or they can't do it, don't take it personally because they're not for you at this moment. They're just not. They don't. The way I see it, if you look at it as black and white, is that you're not a priority at this time, but don't take that personally.
No.
You're not a priority this time because it's not in alignment with their mission and their purpose yet. So don't take that personally. It's okay. Don't be mean to people. Don't be like burning that bridges and start thinking about negativity. It's just that they're not at the moment ready for you yet, right? But that is when you actually make sure that you express yourself, that I am here if you need, and these are my services that I can provide. But pushing yourself onto others, manipulating people, talking bad about people, you're going to get yours. Don't do that. It's really not necessarily. Love comes from loving yourself first, breathing, take a breath literally, and own your shh, right? Like, I can't say that word, but own your shh, and don't smear it on other people because that's nasty. I'm just saying.
Yeah, here's Mikey. Yeah, it's we can't get we can't let this stuff get to us anymore because we don't need it. We don't need that energy. We want to stay with a positive energy. We want to make things happen at the next level, and quite frankly, we're looking multiple levels above that. So we have the anthologies out there. It is an opportunity to put your story, and there's people out there who they need to read your story. Sometimes it's one of the other authors who needs to read your story, and other times it's like once you've done it. And here's the other thing: when you're writing with us, we really love making sure that you get that business aspect to it as well, because this is your story, and it's part of who you are. It can be part of your business, and once you've worked with us, once we've published the book, I mean, the story is yours to do with what you want, and you can turn around and self-publish it. You just have to say that it was in this book. You can't take it to another anthology. So there's some details in there, but I mean, that's why we write the contract, which is there to take care of the authors just as much as anybody else. Thoughts?
Yeah. We are over minutes, so
Yeah, we're over.
Yeah, we love you guys, and we will continue this conversation because it's important, right? I always look at scientific and also evidence based, not necessarily theory based. That's just not what kind of teacher I am. I like project based because I want to see that it's working. um, I'm not a theory based types of person when it comes to my doctoral program, but I like structure, but I'm also flexible enough to pivot and change on those structure. The more that I look into changing myself for better, the more I look into why am I doing certain things, the more I love myself. Like, wow, I can do this. Like, I don't care about people pleasing anymore. And I don't, I still care about pleasing my right people, but not everybody needs my space and my time. So I love it. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks, everybody. It was great. And I will see you all next week.
Bye. I see you tomorrow and Thursday. Bye, guys.
This time, tomorrow, Thursday. Love it. Bye.